great initial first teaching to maximize student success. That means our focus is on getting as many students as possible to learn the first time they're taught. Not remediation or support later, but actually have students learn in initial whole class instruction. Student engagement is created when teachers ask students to do something. Let's look at our first one up here, whiteboards. When you use whiteboards, you ask a question where the students have to write their answers on their whiteboards. When the boards come up, it forces everybody to be engaged because what? Everyone has to do it. And of course, the beauty of this is you get to see all the answers at once. It's the best checking for understanding is the whiteboards.
On your whiteboard, give me an example of a source and be ready to justify why it would be a source. 1, 2, 3, show me. What is an example of a source? Iris.
An example of a source is a book.
Why did you choose a book as a source?
Because a book provides information.
A book provides information that may back up or support our main idea.
Here's the factors of 12. Go ahead and list those on your whiteboard. And then I also want you to list the factors of 15. I have them right here for you. 1, 3, 5, and 15. Show me the two lists. Now, I want you to look at those two lists, and I want you to circle all the factors that they have in common. Now, I want you to share with your partner your choice for the greatest common factor. Which one did you choose? Show me your whiteboards. I like how you labeled it, GCF 3, very good. Anna, how do you know that 3 is the greatest common factor?
I know that 3 is the greatest common factor because they're both in common and it's the largest.
Very good. It's both in common and it's the largest.
Now let's look at our second norm. It's complete sentences. Have students answer in complete sentences using academic and content vocabulary. Instead of saying, my answer is 6, students should be saying, the perimeter is 6, or the perimeter of the polygon is 6. It's very important. This helps further the goal of the Common Core standard where we're using what academic and content vocabulary.
Dominic, what does equals mean?
The same.
Can you say that in a sentence?
Equals means the same.
Equals means the same.
What is a whole number?
A whole number is a number that is not a fraction or a decimal.
A number that is not a fraction or a decimal.
Now for our third student engagement strategy, it's pair share. That means you have the students explain their answers to each other. Every time you ask a question, have the students turn and explain their answers. Now the best way to do this is to label the partners as an A partner and a B partner. Then you can have A tell B, B tell A. This is the best way because it forces over time all students to participate. If you just say tell your partner, sometimes one student's doing all the talking. So you can kind of mix up A tell B, B tell A go first, B go first. Now part of the pair share is complete sentences, and the pair share is where the kids exchange their ideas, they're using the information, and they're thinking about it. It's also great for English learners. This is where you do listening and speaking using the new academic and content vocabulary you've just been taught.
Tell your partner one more time, why is this a good polygon?
Partner A, tell partner B, why are B and D not good choices to support our main idea?
Attention signal. Especially when you have students pair sharing a lot, you need a signal to regroup the students right away so you don't lose any time. So there's a couple of them. One's called eyes front, and the students respond back straight.
Eyes front.
Back straight.
Thank you very much.
Lincoln.
Panther.
1, 2.
Eyes on you.
We need to help students be better readers in every single lesson. So our next two strategies, they're read with me and track with me. That means as a teacher, when you have new text, academic text, important expository text, you read first and the students are tracking with their fingers or looking at the words, then they read chorally after you. Now this is really important if you've got difficult words or complex words or new words for students. That's why everybody can read the word correctly and pronounce it correctly because you've already gone over it first.
What is the sound of this letter? 1, 2, 3. What is the sound of this letter at the end? Let's all say it. So when we read this word, we say patterns. Let's read that. 1, 2, 3. Patterns. Let's read it one more time. Patterns. Patterns. So today, we will extend patterns. Let's read that together, please. 1, 2, 3. Today, we will extend patterns.
But track with me. The Pythagorean theorem is a mathematical formula for finding the length of the sides of a right triangle. So we see that word right there, right triangle. That's why it was important to remember what right triangles were, because that's right triangles lead to using Pythagorean theorem.
Repeat with me. This is really listening and speaking. When you have a new word or a large word or a complicated word, especially words students have not said before, you teach them how to pronounce it and have them say it with you. For example, the word linear for linear equations. Kids, the word is linear. Or how about alliteration? The word is alliteration. Let's all say it, alliteration.
Pythagorean, I drew that line right there to break this word into two parts, right between the G and the O. And we're going to read the back part. The back part is Orean. So on the count of 3, I want you guys to say the word Orean with me 2 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Orean. Orean. All right, now we're going to read the front part. And the way we say this front part is Pythag. We're going to say Pythag 2 times. 1, 2, 3. Pythag. Pythag. All right, so now we're going to say it all together. Pythagorean. Pythagorean.
Our last engagement norm is gesture with me. These are really hand gestures to help students remember, but they're engaging because everyone does it, and they're effective as a cognitive strategy because it helps students remember.
Go ahead and make a polygon. Right? Make sure you're making a polygon. Show your partner your polygon. Make your ice cream. Is this a polygon? Go ahead, tell your partner. Why not? Tell your partner real quick.
To make an inference, we use what? Evidence from the text, like we're reading the story. And what else do we use? Prior knowledge, what we already know. So to make an inference, let's all show me with your hands, we use what? Evidence from the text and prior knowledge, what we already know. Let's say it one more time. To make an inference, we use what? Evidence from the text and prior knowledge, what we already know. We've just looked at several strategies that help engage students in the class. In fact, you create that engagement while you're teaching. You ask the students to do one of these. Now, on average, you should do one of these practices really about every 1 to 2 minutes. You should be directing the kids to do something. It's very effective when you do it. The kids are engaged for the whole class because they're busy doing stuff. Let's look at one more characteristic of great initial first teaching. English learner strategies. These are strategies you add to a lesson to make it more accessible for English learners. The focus is on language. The content does not change. It's the language part. You provide extra listening and speaking. Of course, pair shares is part of that. You provide extra definitions of vocabulary words, and you support the kids on pronouncing new words and giving the definitions of new words.
And now I want you to make believe that these are chromosomes. You're just going to make believe. Pretend or make believe that these are chromosomes. So if we're looking at this, and the first phase of mitosis is called interphase. Let's read that, please. 1, 2, 3. Interphase. Interphase just looks like this. So let's take a look at the description because we're telling more about mitosis. Interphase is the first stage of cell division. During interphase, the chromosomes in the nucleus become visible. Let's read that. 1, 2, 3. Interphase is the first stage of cell division. During interphase, the chromosomes in the nucleus become visible. And visible, I want you to underline visible. Visible is a word that comes from vision. Vision. Let's go like this. Now we can see it. Visible. Now we can see it. So I want you to put the chromosomes in the back here. And I want you to show me chromosomes become visible. So now we can see it. Let's try it one more time. Chromosomes become visible. Let's all say it. Chromosomes become visible. That means that now we can see them in the nucleus. And how do we call that? We call that interphase. Now, but remember, mitosis is a process, so it happens in steps. So it's not only one step, it's going to be multiple steps.